Ever notice how the smartest people can still feel kinda lost? It's like they've read all the books, watched every deep dive interview, mastered talking in systems and probabilities, but deep down there's this nagging emptiness and uncertainty, or they're just stuck in their own heads. I spent 300 hours observing what society calls geniuses, Nobel winners, tech billionaires, renowned philosophers, and honestly, most of them struck me as high IQ idiots. They've mastered extreme complexity but totally missed the basics of being human. How to genuinely be happy. How to stop self-sabotaging. How to simply admit when they're wrong. And here's the thing, these are the people many of us look to for guidance. I used to be one of those people who'd binge their podcasts, highlight their books until they looked like abstract art, and quote them like scripture. Then I started noticing a pattern. The same guy giving brilliant TED Talks on optimal decision-making was on his third divorce. The billionaire preaching radical discipline was rumored to be heavily reliant on Adderall. And the philosopher who wrote 10 best-selling books on happiness? He was privately battling chronic depression. That's when it hit me like a ton of bricks. Being smart doesn't automatically make you sane. In fact, intelligence can sometimes just be a more elaborate mask for deep-seated dysfunction. It's like using a high-resolution camera to take a picture of a mess. It just makes the mess look clearer. Let's call this phenomenon the Ivory Tower Trap. Or, if you want to get a bit darker, the smart person's curse. It's what happens when your brain becomes so incredibly powerful, it actually starts working against you. You build these elaborate logical fortresses to avoid any emotional vulnerability. You overthink joy until it dissipates. You constantly argue with reality instead of accepting it. And the most insidious part? The smarter you are, the better you become at lying, especially to yourself. Psychological studies actually back this up. High IQ can sometimes corrupt self-awareness rather than enhance it. Psychologists have a term for it, intellectualization defense. Think of it this way. You'd rather write a 50-page academic essay on the socioeconomic factors that contributed to your marriage failing than simply look in the mirror and admit, I was selfish. It's like watching a brilliant quantum physicist try to fix a broken toaster with string theory. They don't solve the actual problem. They just complicate it to such an extreme degree that no one, not even they, can tell it's still fundamentally broken. Meanwhile, your local plumber? He probably owns 3 rental properties, drinks his coffee black, and hasn't had an existential crisis since 2014. He solves problems directly. It seems smart people often love to suffer. They mistakenly believe that suffering equates to depth, that it makes them profound. The tortured artist who needs chaos to create. The tech founder who brags about their burnout as a badge of honor. The deep thinker who romanticizes despair as a pathway to insight. But that's not brilliance. That's just dysfunction with a really eloquent thesis statement. Reading 50-plus books a year? Honestly, it might be less about growth and more about avoidance, a form of mental escapism. Therapy? Sometimes it feels like astrology for smart people. A lot of profound-sounding talk, but not a lot of actual, tangible change. Self-help gurus? Often, they're just failed cult leaders who figured out how to use better lighting and social media. And if your brilliant idea can't be explained clearly to a curious 10-year-old, it's probably not genius. It's probably just complicated bullshit. The real crisis we face isn't that people are dumb. It's that smart people often believe they're exempt from the messy, beautiful, sometimes painful experience of being truly human. They'll meticulously analyze love, but never fully allow themselves to feel it. They'll passionately debate ethics, but quietly cheat on their taxes. They'll lecture eloquently on happiness while silently being miserable. The harsh truth is, no one is coming to save you. Not the billionaire on the podcast, not the enlightened monk, not the PhD with a mic. They're often just as lost, just as confused, and just as human as you are. They've simply rebranded their struggles more effectively. So yes, watch smart people. Learn from them. Absolutely steal what genuinely works and makes sense for you. But always remember this fundamental truth. True wisdom doesn't sound like a perfectly polished TED Talk. It sounds much more like, I was wrong. It looks like showing up and doing the hard work, even when it's uncomfortable. No one thinks their way to freedom. You have to walk it. You have to live it. And often the very first, most crucial step is usually the one that feels the most surprisingly simple, even a little dumb. If you like this, do one press up and hit the subscribe button.